not say it?
Didn't say it. The red button didn't come up.
Because I hit the lock button. Okay, here we go. Bear with me, I'm new.
This conference will now be recorded.
There you go. New girl's doing okay.
Thank you. And
Okay,
I'm sorry. Once again, if just everybody that's on can mute themselves unless you're the speaker at the moment. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, it's September 16th, 2020 at 7:02 p.m. I call tonight's council meeting, which is a virtual meeting, to order. It's a virtual meeting via GoToMeeting. Tonight's meeting is available on gotomeeting.com, and our cable channel 77 is not working, but perhaps Verizon Fios channel 28 is. You can email questions or comments to lfernandez@hawthornenj.org or log in from your computer, tablet, or smartphone at https://global.gotomeeting.com/join/472-199-829 or dial in at 312-757-3121, access code 472-199-829. Roll call.
Bennett,
Here.
Leosa,
Here.
Lane,
Here.
Mealy,
Here.
Skiara,
Here.
Wojtecki,
Present.
Matthews.
Here.
Okay, thank you.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Anybody else with me?
And
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You told us to mute our microphone. You did.
Well, you can unmute when you're talking. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the annual schedule of regular meetings, herefore adopted and posted on the public bulletin board at the municipal building, emailed to the Hawthorne Press, the Herald News, the Record, the Gazette, and all persons who requested the mailing of such schedule. The copy of said schedules remained on file in the office of the Borough Clerk from and since December 12, 2019. In accordance with the executive orders issued by Governor Murphy related to COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting will take place in a virtual setting on GoToMeeting platform. Approval of the minutes, we have none, but we'll have two next meeting. Public comment. I'll now open the meeting to the public for agenda items. Anyone wish to be heard on agenda items? You can dial in at 312-757-3121, access code 472-199-829, or use the chat feature if you're signed in as part of the meeting, or email lfernandez@hawthornenj.org.
I have no emails, Council President.
Okay. Having seen none, have a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
So moved. Motion.
Motion by Witecki, second by Sierra. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries. Adoption of ordinances. We have none this evening. Old business. Joe, we'll start your way.
Thank you. Eric, I'm going to start with the stop line at Chopin and Mazer. Eric, you're muted.
Sooner or later, it'll be done, yes. I'm told that it will be done tomorrow, so it should have been done by now, but it will be done tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Fields. I see the fields have been mowed, but the infield is still filled with weeds, and the bleachers have very large weeds growing out of them now. Have we just stopped? I get that we're not having, but I thought we would maintain them so that when we do go back to having games on the fields, at least they're in somewhat okay condition.
Yes, I've asked Public Works to make sure, come up with a plan to make sure we're addressing what needs to be done for when the fields are to be in use. So I will follow up on that.
Joe, can I piggyback on your comment there?
Absolutely, Council President.
I know that there was an application put in for the Board of Rec for an outside organization to use the ball fields for a game, and they were told no because of the condition of the fields. I know the town is not using it, but if an organization wanted to come and get a permit to use WAG one, what is our position on that? I know it was a group in town that, like, I don't know if it was the over 40 softball people. I don't know which group it was, but I do know that the Board of Rec turned this group away. I wasn't too happy to hear that.
I was unaware of that, but I'll look into and see what we can do with that.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, Joe, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. While we're staying on weeds, I'm going to go right to, I don't know what we want to call this property right now, Patriot Estates, or Mike, what do we call this property? Three Ronson. All right.
Three Ronson.
All right, so Three Ronson, it's out of control.
Yes, it's a mess. The property owner has been received a notice of violation and will follow up. If it's not fixed, they'll get a summons.
Thank you. Parking enforcement along Lafayette Ave. I had asked for parking enforcement to return. Last night when I walked the dogs, I have a picture. I wasn't able to send it. It said too large of a file. But when I left to walk the dogs last night, the cars were parked along Lafayette Ave where it says 30-minute parking. And then when I woke up this morning to go running, the cars were still there. So I do have a picture of them. Have we ceased parking enforcement? I know we weren't doing it during COVID time.
We've not ceased. I'll talk with the chief about what's going on and along Lafayette.
That's all I have for old, Council President.
Mike.
Thank you, Council President. Just want to open up and saying that, many times we as councilmen reach out to Eric and with frustration of things that have not been done, but I want to say that I have some good news and I want to give him some props. Eric, I want to thank you because the issue on Emmeline Drive with the water leak was corrected, and the resident actually contacted me today. He's absolutely thrilled. Not only was the leak stopped, but it was actually paved. He said they actually did some potholes that are in the area also. Also, some kudos that the pavers on the pedestrian signs on Lafayette and Van Winkle were corrected, so we're real happy about that. I also want to say thank you to the mayor and his administration. The 9/11 observance was unbelievable. I was very moved. It was probably the best event I've ever seen that Hawthorne put on, that I've been part of. And lastly, I also like the mayor and administration thank them for helping me get together the new welcome package for our new residents. It was a task, and we got it underway, and they're all out to the community as far as the realtors and also the school board has them. And I know when the fire inspector does some in-person CO inspections that they will be handing them out also. So I want to say thanks a lot, and that's all I have for all business.
Council President, do you want me to comment about them now, or do you want me to wait until new business?
Comment about.
Welcome to Hawthorne bag.
You can comment now.
All right, so Mike, I do have to say that I've been asking for something, welcome to Hawthorne, pamphlets, something to hand out to please don't take this personal. I will say that I don't remember it being discussed at any council meeting that we were going to move forward with something like this. And then when the first time I did hear about it was you have your Mike Scarra videos that you post up on Facebook. I personally, I think it would be appropriate for the council to be informed of something we'll be giving out to residents and not having to learn about it on Facebook. So that's just my take on it. I like the idea. It's a great idea, but I think a little communication to us, even if it wasn't an email prior to me seeing it on Facebook, I think, somebody asked me about it. I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, watch Mike Sciarra's video. It's on Facebook. And I did. I just think it'd be nicer if we got communication before we saw it on social media. That's all I have to say.
You can blame me for that, Joe, because there was some communication that came from some brainstorming. The mayor said, he put together something with them, and it might be in the new guy. With the committee structure, didn't really give him some serious committees to start with, and felt it could fall under Project Pride. And Dominic kind of helped him out with where to go with it with the chamber. I helped him with the chamber to kind of touch base. So I apologize if we didn't keep you in the loop, but it kind of fell under like a Project Pride committee type thing.
Hey, can I just respond a little bit? I think Mr. Councilman Witecki makes a good point. I don't know if you realize I did send an email out to all the councilmen. Before I even did the video, actually, as soon as the packets were done, I gave every councilman a welcome packet and put it in your mail slot and let you know what was kind of in there. You might have missed the video, I'm not really sure. It wasn't a big advance notice, and I understand that, but I tried to give somebody a little heads up about what was happening prior to me actually even doing the video. So again, it was to the best of intentions.
I've got the email. Mr. President, I got the email also, and if this is done through the committee structure, I don't see where the full council has to vote on it to have it go through.
No, that's why I said I would take the blame for it. Nothing had to go through the full council, but if Joe wanted to be informed and I didn't inform him, that's why I said no problem. I'll take the heat.
Well, if Mike sent out an email to all of us, we should have gotten it.
John, Councilman Lane, I did say I got the email. I got the email after I saw the video. Or I opened the email, I should say. I opened the email after I saw the video. But Mike, I'll give you props. I really enjoy your videos. I like that you're going around Hawthorne. I think I hope you continue doing them even after this year in the event. But I do enjoy watching when people are showing pride around Hawthorne. I give you credit for it. It's a good job. I just honestly, when you get asked a question and it's kind of blindsided, like, hey, those welcome bags, didn't you bring up that idea? What a great idea. And I think it's a great idea. I'm giving you the props. I'm just saying I would have, kind of blindsided. That's it.
Well, if you opened up your email earlier, maybe you would have realized it was coming.
It was just a matter of timing, Mr. Witecki. It wasn't any more than that. I wanted to get jumped on it right away. So it was no more than that to it. But I understand what you're saying. And I appreciate the acknowledging the videos. I do appreciate that. I'm trying to reach out to the community, let them know some of the good things we have going on here in Hawthorne.
Thank you.
Trina.
I don't have any old business. Thank you.
Bruce.
Yes, the residents on Washington Ave that had the melted pavement from the car fire several months ago. The patch is all done, and they're very pleased. And the contractor did a very, very nice job. It's very smooth, no edges, and we shouldn't have any problems when we plow that street. So good job, Eric, on getting onto the contractor and getting that done.
It was all Public Works.
Dominic.
I'm okay, but
John.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank the mayor and Eric for doing their due diligence and getting the library gutter back up on the building, and now it looks good. But with that, I'd like to ask: is there going to be screening put on it so debris doesn't fall into the gutter?
I believe that was part of the project, but I will confirm.
Okay. Also, Eric, while we're talking, any
Any update on that abandoned car sitting on blocks with no tires on it on Lafayette Avenue by the old Nissan dealer?
I know that there are some legal issues surrounding that, but I'll confer with the borough attorney and make sure that we're moving whatever we can do.
Well, maybe we can take that
Yeah,
car
the
out
ordinance,
with tires.
We have an ordinance on unregistered vehicles on property. Does it pertain to commercial lots as well as private property?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
There you go. Okay.
Also, thank you, Eric. Also, any update on 10 Winnie Avenue on the sinkhole?
Public Works took a look at it. They didn't think it was an actual sinkhole. There was a depression in the pavement. We put in patch. We're going to monitor it and see whether it does sink or whether the patch has addressed the issue.
Okay, great, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. President, on the roll.
Eric and the mayor, I've got a lot of calls regarding the youth bicycle gang that's been driving around town. There was at least 300 comments on a Facebook thread that I chimed in on. I know it's just some kids being kids, but there's kids about 15 driving around, 15 in number, driving up and down Lafayette Ave, up and down Diamond Bridge. What was a funny little thing is turning into a dangerous situation. And I know our police department's been contacted, but do we have did they come up with a plan to address this? I'm only asking because there's a number of people that are concerned. One woman was actually fearful that the older boys were going to turn it into a violent situation.
I'll review that with the outgoing chief and the incoming chief. I know they're aware of it. I don't know exactly what plans they have to address it.
God forbid somebody hits them and a kid gets injured or worse. That's a lot to live with from the driver's perspective as well. I know in other towns like Ridgewood and I think Fair Lawn had them. It was even a lot of out-of-town kids, and that was brought up, and they said, no, there's Hawthorne youth that are involved as well. So just asking for those who wanted to be asked. New business. John, we'll start with you on new business.
I'm good, Frank, thank you.
Dominic.
I'm okay.
Bruce.
Nothing tonight, Council President.
Rena.
No, I don't have anything. Thank you.
Mike.
Thank you, Council President. Only one thing, I'll take a little personal license and wish my wife a happy anniversary, 26 years today. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mike.
Congratulations.
That will be your business, Mike. Ooh, he didn't say birthday. Joe.
All right. John Lane, you're gonna leave me here? I gotta do all the new business? Come on. All right, here we go. Handicap ramp, Diamond Bridge and Goffle on the south side. Do we do that, or does that the counties? It's on two county roads, and it's in front of the county park. It's all cracking up.
That was the county.
I know we always say they don't do any sidewalks, but if we could have.
They have to put in, they're responsible for putting in ramps when they pave a road. And I'm guessing that that's when those ramps got put in. If it's beyond their maintenance bond period, I'm guessing they may disavow any responsibility because it's sidewalk, but we can look at it. Where's the specific location again?
Goffle and Diamond Bridge on the south side.
Awful. And Dunn Bridge. South side. Okay, we'll look into that.
Okay, stump at 86 Llewellyn. That's it. And just to make a comment, I do send Eric a lot of emails too. These are just things that I know I shouldn't say because I know what the mayor's gonna say that come up when I go running. So go ahead, Mayor, use your line.
Run in a different direction.
Thank you.
Is that it, Joe?
Yes.
Okay. I have no old business to speak of, other than I know we're working on our parking situation on 6th and 5th, but the seller is now slowing down the process by not being as quick to react to one of the big three's offers. Correct, Mayor?
I have a slight update on that. We reached out and we understand that before Premio could get involved, there was an offer on the property. And unless that offer falls through, we may have to look for another solution.
Well, that's not good news.
Mayor, if that falls through, is it possible to talk to Churchill for the parking in front of their building?
That will be the next step, John.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Turning to the administrative agenda presented by Mayor Goldberg. Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to thank everyone who made our 9/11 Remembrance Service a great success. My thanks to my emergency responders, our speaker, Captain Arturi, Faith Noah, Monsignor Kupke, Pastor Howie, Rabbi Wool, Julie Minicozy, the Amy Hamilton Solo Quartet, and special thanks to my admin for all the work in making this possible. As the days of Chief McCullough are winnowing down, I want to take this time to publicly thank him for all he's done for the borough of Hawthorne. Chief McCullough has left big shoes to fill, and I have complete confidence that Captain Neppert will make a seamless transition. As most of you are aware, demolition will soon begin at the Pan Chemical site on Washington Avenue. The contaminants on that site are in the water and in the soil, none of which are being disturbed. There will be no health issues as to work is being done properly and under OSHA and UCC rules. If you have any questions about this, please call my office at 973-427-1168. And a special thanks goes to Councilwoman Reyna Leosa, for her position as Chairperson of the Environmental Commission, recommended that the borough file an Environmental Rights Act lawsuit against Pan Technology to force them to do the cleanup. And Michael was successful in piercing the veil. And as soon as we did that, the DEP said, okay, now we'll take over from you. But without Reyna again really pushing us to get involved, I don't think we'd be at this point. I did reach out to Tony Denova at the county to speak about the mid-block crosswalk on Ray Avenue. He assured me that he will speak to his people to see whether something can be done. He also told me that when he walks the park, he does not go up to Gothel and Ray to cross. He crosses in the middle of the street as well. Not a big surprise. So when I hear back from Mr. Denova, I will let you know whether the county is going to do it. Next Wednesday, September 23rd, the Hawthorne Pride Alliance will have its kickoff program in the municipal parking lot with guest speaker Christian Fuscarino, the Executive Director of Garden State Equality. The program is open to the public, and of course, there is no charge. The Divert team has announced that their annual candlelight vigil has been canceled. Please remember that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I want to thank our Divert team for all the good work they do in Hawthorne. A week from this Saturday was to be Hawthorne Day, and while we had to cancel this year, our promise is that next year we will have a bigger and better celebration. It has to be bigger and better than this year, but it'll be bigger and better than last year.
Promise is kept.
Yeah, that's correct. We are still looking into logistics for the mayor's Halloween parade at the end of October. I will inform you as plans develop. Please be aware that this office has no plans to cancel trick-or-treating in Hawthorne, since we assume all of our trick-or-treaters will be wearing masks. We've been told by the County of Passaic that we'll be receiving a ballot box for the November election, and voters can drop their ballots at Borough Hall rather than put them in the mail. The ballot box will be securely fastened, and there will be a surveillance camera on it at all times. This will be a way of casting a ballot in person without relying on the post office for the timely delivering of the ballot. We anticipate it will be outside the municipal building so that you can kind of drive up, drop it, and go. But as the requirements are, it will be monitored all the time. That being said, I call upon my borough attorney, Michael Pasquale, for his report.
Thank you, Mayor. You are correct in saying that Raina really was the driving force in getting the Environmental Rights Act before us. Frankly, when we filed the suit, nobody at the DEP had actually seen somebody use this act. It's on the books. Nobody used it before. We used it, and eventually they conceded they need to do their jobs. So again, it was a good job. Right now, the buildings are being taken down to the slab, and that's what it is. There is slab remaining, so that's when the mayor says there's no disturbance of the soil beneath. That is what is happening there. And eyesore is being removed, and we'll keep working to look to redevelop the property. Last week, Tim Henderson, Rob Rescher from ASI, and I had our county tax appeals. Mayor and council will be receiving a memo from me tomorrow on the issue, but what I wanted to alert you to is the success we had with the appeals. We had a total of 94 appeals filed, although one of them was actually a duplicate, so there was really 93 appeals. A good number, 16 of those, were appeals that Tim Henderson filed to change assessments where people did not let ASI into their homes. They had subsequent inspections, and Tim made adjustments. So of the remaining number, 20 cases are going to state tax court, and they will be handled there. We settled a good number of them, a total of 30, either before the hearings or after the hearings, and then we had 7 cases dismissed. We also had 20 trials. So I tried 20 cases that day, and we had a split decision. But when I say split decision, in most cases where we recommended a reduction and the taxpayer said that's not enough, the tax board agreed with us. The bottom line numbers are that the total assessment for the whole borough for 72 cases, and that was the number that we moved that day, was reduced by $3,250,000. The tax refunds that we are going to be losing out on, which is to 72 property owners, is $91,000. We had budgeted $150,000, anticipating that with tax appeals we might face this. And we're very pleased we brought the number in under 100, in fact at 91, with only 20 cases going to tax court. So it was a very good day. Rob Rescher from ASI did a great job. Tim Henderson is just so prepared and knows our town inside and out. And so we had a very successful day. Tax appeals can be filed again next year for those who didn't file this year. And there are still some property owners who never had their properties inspected. We're going to try to do that. If you contact Tim Henderson at the tax office, we will try to get to these properties in October. So again, you're our taxpayers. We want to work with you. Nobody should pay more than their fair share of taxes. And so we will continue to work in that direction. Other than that, I will report on the Gilberti matter because I know a lot of you are going to want to know what is going on. Mr. Gilberti apparently had taken to living in his home again. Police were there earlier, actually last week. He was removed from his home. The lock has been resecured on his property. He is not allowed to be in the property or occupying the property, but he was. I spoke with Sergeant Geyer, who was there on the scene, and I'll be speaking with Captain Nepper tomorrow to see what direction they're going. There appeared to be numerous violations. We did hear at length from neighbors actually at the county tax board about the deplorable condition, and we agree it's a deplorable condition. Doing something about it is hard, but all resources that we have, property maintenance, Board of Health, or health officer, police, and construction officer are all working together to try to bring a resolution. The mayor reached out on his own and contacted Mr. Gilberti's brother, which was a good thing to start that ball rolling to see if we can get some family support as well. We hear what the people are saying. It is very difficult, but we are working on it. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Michael. And now we'll go to Michael Kelly for the engineer's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I would just like to touch on a few projects. For the Gopple Hill water storage tank, we received the signed forms from the borough, and the remedial investigation report will be submitted to DEP by the end of this week. For the 2020 road improvement program, concrete work is continuing on Warren Ave, and then they're going to proceed with concrete work on Highview and Cynthia. And it's the contractor's intention to pave Warren and the remainder of Parmalee and Kingston once the concrete work is completed. So it's probably about 2 to 3 weeks out. I know Councilman Bennett had a question about some work on Kingston. I'm not sure if that answers his question. But the contractor is going to be back out there in about 2 to 3 weeks to wrap that up. So if there is any concerns, we can get that addressed prior to that time. And then they're going to proceed over to Highview, Cynthia, and Garden to get those paved. So that's going to happen sometime in October. For the Hawthorne Library Improvement, Hawthorne Library Lighting Improvement Project, the borough expects, or the library expects to receive word on the grants, or the grant that they submitted for relatively shortly. All the plans and specs have been completed for that, and they can go out and get bids at this time if they would like. So they can proceed with that work, or at least getting bids. They shouldn't award it until they get any grants. And then the DPW garage trench drain, we expect that to be delivered in about 2 to 3 weeks, and then have that installed. And the Mary Street water storage tank, I understand that there were some areas that were peeling. Those areas were repaired last week. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Michael. Now call upon my borough administrator for his report.
I will start by turning on my microphone, and then I want to offer my congratulations to Councilman Sierra and my thanks to Chief McCullough for his service. Just to add to what Mike Kelly said, the problem we ran into on Kingston was that there was a water break as they were doing the milling, and we didn't want to pave it until we were able to get that finished and secured. And then the contractor did not want to pave a small portion of the street. They wanted to wait till they had a full day's worth of paving, which is why we're waiting until those other 2 streets are ready to pave. With the adoption of the ordinance for truckway limits on some numbered avenues, we've ordered the signs. We expect them to be received and installed in about 3 weeks. The new telephone system and wiring for the municipal building is underway. The equipment's been ordered. We've issued a purchase order for the wiring, and that should be a nice step up in our phone The touchless plumbing fixtures, which were approved by the council, the contract for it back in August for municipal buildings have started. The installation has started. The library and the municipal building have received work. I don't know that either one is completely done yet. And then we have a couple other buildings we're doing when those get completed. Let's see what else we got here. And just to add to what Michael Kelly said about the library lighting grant, even though we have plans and specs about ready, until we've taken action on funding, because the grant will only cover maybe 30% of the cost, we really can't issue a bid. I discussed this with the borough attorney, and until there is that we can give some confidence to prospective bidders that there actually will be funding in place for that project to proceed. And so there would need to be an ordinance to do the full amount of the project. And so,
Eric, I'll talk to you about that tomorrow. The library's planning to fund the balance with their own money.
Oh, they are? Okay. So they're getting the grants coming to them rather than to the borough.
Correct.
Okay. Well, then that's.
I believe so. That was the way it was supposed to be.
Okay. I thought they were asking for us to pay for some portion of it.
No, they had asked us to pay for the outside lighting portion, which we traded an air conditioner for.
Okay, sounds good. My mistake then. Back almost a year ago, we were working with the county and the Boys and Girls Club on the transfer of a small piece of property that the Boys and Girls Club uses for a playground. That sort of fell by the wayside as everybody was sidetracked by COVID-19. The county is going to take their action to authorize a transfer. There's a couple minor details that have to be approved by Green Acres on the lease, which I hope to have that done. And so, that will move forward shortly, and we can put that one behind us. And finally, Lori Foley will be starting on preparing materials for the budget. I've done some preliminary work myself, and this is next year's budget. It seems like we just finished the 2020 budget, and now we're working on 2021. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Eric. Council President will be happy to answer any question.
Are there any questions for the administration from the chamber?
From the council? Yes, I have a question for Eric. Eric, on the signs for the new ordinance that was just passed, what does the wording say?
I don't have it in front of me. I can send it to you tomorrow.
Thank you. Well, the reason I'm asking is because the signs that are up now the truckers are not paying attention to them. So I don't know if the wording is going to be different. I hope it is.
Well, the wording has to reflect what the ordinances say. We can't just say, and I guess we could add something, and this means you, but I don't think that there's any legal effect of doing that. It's going to be. The issue is going to be once the signs are up there will have to be some enforcement so that the truckers will get the idea that they actually have to follow signs in Hawthorne.
Yeah, John, I also, let me chime in. I spoke with Sergeant Geyer about the issue because we talked about what the signs need to say. There's a part A and a part B to the ordinance. The overall ordinance, we adopted using part A. There's a uniform sign protocol that's published by the Department of Transportation. So whatever they specify is what the signs will end up saying. We really can't deviate from the standard signs. The issue is going to be one not of signs, but enforcement.
Okay, yes, correct. Thank you, Michael. And thank you, Eric.
The sign on
That's all Mr.
Parker,
President.
the sign on Parker already doesn't work. Just strictly saying weight limit isn't working.
Yep. Parker's sign, Frank, is under Part B, which is the weight limit. We went under Part A, which is no through trucking, which we hope is easier to enforce and then will be enforced.
But once they go down Parker, they're kind of stuck and they're gonna go down our Part A streets. So even if you have to embellish what you need to put at Parker to stop them from going in, to say no through trucking and the weight limit combined on that sign, that would be better than having an 18-wheeler go down there and get stuck. Otherwise, they're just gonna go through trucking because they can't go anywhere else. Which is what they're still doing. Just pointing it out. I know enforcement, but we can't have a cop sitting there all day long.
Now, listen, it's a work in progress, and
Well, I'm saying the wording has to get changed on that sign as well. That's all.
agreed.
Any other questions for the administration? Joe, did you have a question?
I do. Eric, did you have a chance to talk to Mike or Boswell about our conversation yesterday about Parmalee Avenue?
I hear you.
This was about which issue? Oh, yes, about the contractor. There's nothing that we can prevent them from soliciting work or doing side work as long as they're on schedule. They finished the one block that they had to do by Labor Day. They managed that with a little leverage from our point, but they have another, I think, 5.5 weeks to complete the that street. And so whatever else they're doing, we may not like it. The neighbors may not like it in terms of where they're putting their resources to do work, but there really isn't anything that we can do.
All right, so just to inform the rest of the council, our current contractor doing concrete work passed around the flyer saying, hey, we're in the neighborhood. If you need any concrete work, we'll be happy to do it while we're on your street. Two of the neighbors called me to complain that, hey, look, the work isn't done in front of my house, but yet they're working in the backyard of this house, and it's not even part of the work that the town hired them to do. So I get the perception as being, why are, they're working on somebody else's backyard when they should be working, completing my front yard. Make sense?
Maybe the next bid should be written that all borough work should be completed before any side work is done.
Well, there is provision in the contract, and we'll take a look at this. I'll speak to Michael and Eric tomorrow. The contract is required to diligently prosecute the work. That's the way it's worded. So if they are taking breaks to do things on the side where they could be devoting the resources here, I do think we have some ability to tell the contractor to get his work in order. So I'll take a look at that because I do think we have some thing that we can say here.
Council President?
Yes.
Question about that. I thought we had some ordinance involved about solicitation. You have to have a permit to solicit residents. Now, if they're handing out flyers, it's a form of solicitation. I would ask about that. Additionally, I don't know what the, who's paying for the concrete, is that our concrete? And now they're using it for residents and making additional money on that? Maybe someone can fill me in on it.
It's not our concrete because we pay for the amount of concrete that is poured on our job, and we can quantify it based on the depth, width, and length of the concrete, and that's what we pay for. So we don't pay by truckload; we pay by what's laid, what's poured for our work.
Okay, so that answers that question. The first question on the ordinance related to solicitation. Maybe someone can help me out with that.
Yeah, Michael, you're right. I'm not aware of the this is the first I'm hearing they're going to get flyers. If there is a door-to-door solicitation, then they needed to obtain a solicitor's permit. So I will also look at that tomorrow. Thank you.
It says, hi, we're going to be in your neighborhood. Please remember, mark out your sprinklers. We're going to be doing the work in front of your house. And then you flip it over and it says, hi, we're Safeli and Sons. We do this, 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 and this. And if you're interested, we're going to be on your street working on it. It's actually one of your neighbors, Michael, or one of your past neighbors. And then across the street.
I will. What I'll do is I'll take a look at it, and there's a couple angles here, but I do think we can tell the contractor that he has to diligently prosecute the work. That is the term of art, and I do think we can force them to do that.
And if I can, Mr. Council President,
Yes.
I can tell you that we do not promote this. Oftentimes, when we have projects going on in a certain municipality, I'll get calls from residents and asking, can I reach out to this contractor and have him do my driveway or have him do curb? And I tell them no. We do not want the contractor doing any private work. I'm going to have our inspector talk to the contractor and tell them that this is inappropriate. They should not be doing this. And it's not something that we promote. It's not something we want them to do the municipal job. We're not doing private work here. We don't want them doing any private work. If they arrange some other deal, that's one thing. But it's inappropriate to be soliciting residents while they're out there. I don't think that's correct.
Residents called your office and me at the same time. So your office got a phone call minutes after I got mine.
Additionally, Council President, if someone decided to get the work done, they would need to get a permit also to have this work.
Yes.
So I know what they were doing, yes.
Yeah. So there's two permits needed. One for the people that are laying the concrete. Second, the resident has to get their work being done on their property. So they're going to get done at best. So.
Yeah, this is a little unusual. This is, again, first I'm hearing about it. Ordinarily, we've had people walk up to the contractor and say, hey, do you think you could pour some concrete? This is far more aggressive, actively soliciting while you're working on our dime. Not a good practice, and one that we need to put an end to. So I do think we have some tools in the toolbox, and we'll be using them tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I have, Mayor, you received an email from Mike Sevitich in regards to horseshoe pits. If I could just ask if you could
We're looking at that, Joe. We think we may make that part of next year's open space application as well. So yes, we've got his email and we're looking at ways that we can see whether we can do that. We're not sure of the popularity of horseshoes, but if we can do it and it doesn't cost a lot of money, there's no reason not.
Thank you, Mayor.
Horseshoes.
It was an email about horseshoe pits.
He's not getting it, Mike.
I got it. Oh, down by San Giuseppe. I got it. I know where you're headed. There were new signs installed throughout Hawthorne that a couple of them are facing the wrong way, and they don't match what our, if you want to call it, our downtown revitalization signage. Has anybody seen them?
They were put in by the county, Joe, apparently on county roads. I don't know whether we have much control over them putting signs on their own roads. I don't know, but you're right. I've seen one on Lafayette. They put in new Welcome to Passaic County signs up near the Wyckoff border. It looks like they're just trying to get a unified look throughout Passaic County with their signs.
The signs they put up in other areas are the black antique look that would match our downtown.
Well, the one I saw in Lafayette did have the black pole.
It has a burnt orange look to it, and it's the one I'm concerned about is if, like tonight I went by Pan Chemical, please take a look at the one that makes the left off Lafayette onto Washington Street. It's actually pointing the wrong direction for the train. So if somebody could just, I guess, reach out to the county, take down the old ones from the county, and point that sign in the right direction, so you're going to the right, you're going to the left, actually, you're going to the left.
Okay.
And then lastly, I just want to, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Councilman Motecki, there's also one on Wagler Road, right by the front porch, stating, make a right turn here for the railroad train, station.
That, you are correct, Councilman Lee. All right, and then the last thing, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Chief McCullough. I do apologize, there's no way I'm gonna be able to make Friday's clap out, but I'll clap you out right now. Thank you so much, Chief, for all those years. Congratulations and best of luck in everything you do moving forward.
And that's a week from Friday, the clap. 25th.
I know I won't be able to make it.
No, I know, but I don't want people to come this Friday thinking it was the day. It's the 25th is his walkout.
Not, I can never make it 12 noon. I can never make anything.
We understand that, Joe. You're doing God's work at the hospital.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for the administration? Being none, can I entertain a motion to record the administrative agenda?
So moved. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Bennett, second by Lane. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Resolutions. We have consent agenda R102-20 and R103-20. R102-20 is the 2020-2021 liquor license renewals. And R103-20 is to amend the HMAC FY 2020 grant year to add a fifth quarter. Have a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Bennett. Second by, I missed it.
Wachecki.
Second. Pateki?
Correct, yes.
Yep. Any discussion? Roll call.
Wachecki.
Yeah.
Skiara.
Yes.
Mealy.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Leosa.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Reports of special council committees. Joe, we'll start your way.
All right, thank you. Shade Tree Commission met. We are preparing. I asked Chairwoman Drea Labasco to attend our meeting on October 7th to make a presentation. I don't want to spoil her news, but she's going to be making a presentation on October 7th with Kevin, our arborist. So more information to follow on Shade Tree Commission. We did discuss the 2020 shade tree installations, and it has something to do with that. That's my little secret there. The next item on the ordinance is I would like to ask the ordinance committee to please consider, I know I'm on the committee, but I'm putting it out there. I know, putting it out there. Please consider an ordinance. I'm getting back out there and trying to exercise, get rid of some of this COVID weight. The amount of new free newspapers that are still left in the roads and the sidewalks. I know that West Patterson or Woodland Park has put in an ordinance to opt into getting them. If you want to get the newspapers, you opt in. And sadly, we do not have the Hawthorne Press anymore. And I know nobody's going up to the front yard and picking up those papers, so they end up either just becoming these speed bumps in people's driveway, or they're ending up in the roadway and they're just sitting there and becoming these wet logs. So I put that out there.
Joe, I have other items for the agenda for the ordinance committee, and I'll add that to it.
Thank you, Council Vice President. That is all.
Michael.
Thank you, Council President. On the library board, they met last week and they decided to open full-time on last Saturday, the 12th. The next library board meeting will be on October 14th at 4:30. As far as the school board is concerned, they opened on 9/8, September 8th. They have a hybrid. They have some students going in on the cohorts on 2 different days of the week, and then 1 day virtual. And they have some of the students are just home full time on virtual. The feedback that was given at the school board meeting last night, that they have had positive feedback from parents and some staff, so they're very pleased about where they're going. Continue with the fingers crossed. Hopefully that they have no cases to report. As far as referendum projects that they've done, they've finished up the project with 5 boilers at the Lincoln Middle School, and they're on target to continue finishing STEM labs at the high school and Lincoln Middle School, and physics lab and the culinary room should be done shortly. The next school board meeting will be October 20th at 7 o'clock. One last thing I did want to mention, I thought it was worthwhile. They talked about it last night. They changed their new school physician. And what's interesting is that the new school physician will do COVID testing. They can do it immediately. They'll have the results within 4 days, but by the end of September, it will be a rapid test. So if anybody feels that they're going to have, that they might be, might have COVID, they can go right to this facility. It's in Midland Park. And by the end of this month, they'll be able to have it as a rapid test. So that's all good news. And that concludes my report.
If I could just piggyback on, I have to say congratulations to the new principal and assistant principal. I can tell you my kids absolutely loved her. I know she's related to somebody actually on the dais right now, and she was my kids loved her. I do see that she changed her last name now to a very similar name like our attorney. So congratulations to her.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. We're very proud of
That's
everything.
related by marriage and not by blood to him.
Yeah, we're very proud of everything. Cheryl came to this country knowing nobody and has advanced to the point of vice principal of the high school. So it's a pretty remarkable rise. Thank you, Joe.
You beat me to it. Rena.
Okay, just a couple updates. This Saturday, we're having a styrofoam drive at the Borough Hall from 9 to 12. The weather's going to be great. We will not be able to, hopefully we cross your fingers, not the rain date, which is the following week, the 26th. As the mayor said about Hawthorne Day, the green fair at the farmer's market would have been this past Sunday, which would have been 10 years. We have moved the whole entire program to a virtual green fair. We will be working on that in the next month or two, and we'll probably have similar to like having green lectures with the green fair. So it's going virtual. We are not having any event at the farmer's market. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Bruce.
No, at the moment, the Public Works Committee is just proceeding through the road program, keep monitoring that, and I think you got your fill of updates on where we are with that, so I have nothing further to report.
Okay. Dominic.
Right now, I have nothing to report. It's a little quiet, thank goodness.
John.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I'd like to apologize to the viewing audience. Channel 77, the second meeting in a row has not been up and running. We've tried since the end of last meeting to contact Cablevision Optimum. We did make some strides, but I guess we haven't been successful with regard to talking to the right people. So we will, I'll be talking to some people tomorrow and the next day to see what's going on here. So I apologize, and I believe channel 28 is up for Cablevision, for Verizon. Also on the Board of Health, the communication that we received from Patterson dated August. Right now, we have no information with regard to the flu clinic. But Mayor, with that, I'd like to ask the preparations just for the flu, not for COVID, but for the flu immunization. And what about the first responders? I know you and Eric were working on that.
John, I've asked the borough nurse to have one evening night when the first responders can come in. We're gonna have to negotiate some kind of a time swap with her, but I think we'll get that done.
Okay, great, thank you. Also, under the ordinance committee, we're putting together, as I said at the last meeting, something to do with our stormwater management, and now Joe has brought up some interesting items, so we'll add that to the agenda and discuss that at the ordinance meeting. And I think, Mr. President, that's all I have at this point.
Okay. Chamber wishes everybody to come down and continue to support the farmers market. And there was one road paving issue that Eric did not bring up, but we're going to be publishing on our Facebook page and our borough website the streets that PSE&G is going to be repaving, for, whether it be curb to crown or fully, but most of it's going to be half a street. Joe, a lot of that affects your area. So I know we were given a outline today in your email, so check your email if you didn't open that one. But we're going to post that as well once Eric finalizes that with PSE&G in the next day or two. That's all I had to report.
Are we on that? I just opened that before. Are we going to post that or put it out on Nixle or post it somewhere so that the public can see where everybody's going to be, what PSE&G or what road closures are going to?
Were you just listening to anything I just said? Did you have your earbuds in or not?
I did, but I had to pick up the dogs. Who stopped running it?
I just said we're going to post it on our Facebook link and our website so that everybody can know that what's coming in an approximate date, weather permitting. Yes.
Thank you. I had a doggy emergency. I apologize.
Is he okay? The doxy or the big white one?
Oh, the docs. Continue to go behind you.
Okay.
Mr. President, I just have one other item.
Yes.
Mayor, tomorrow, can you have someone post on Nixle about the inconvenience of not having Channel 77 tonight, please?
Yes, Eric will send out an excellent.
Thank you. That's all for me.
Okay. That concludes our council committee reports. Bills. Have a motion to approve the bills and forward them to the treasurer for payment.
So moved. Motion.
Done it. Second by Sierra. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, I do. On Bill 20-00049, I want that bill held. That's Cablevision and Optimum until further notice.
I'm okay with that. I was going to vote no on it anyway.
I want it held.
I'm sorry, Councilman Lane, what was the check number again?
20-00049.
Thank you.
So are you approving it but holding it until they get back to us?
No, I'm not approving that at all. I want it held. Let it come back to another meeting at some point.
They shut us off, right?
It usually takes 30 days to get a shut-off notice, but we'll be meeting before then.
I don't think they get shut off during COVID time.
They're not going to shut it off. You have a couple options, Council President. You have the authority to remove it from the agenda personally. Otherwise, it would be a motion to remove it from the agenda.
How much is the bill?
When the time comes, Michael, I'll put that in form of a motion.
It's
$835.
Do you really think $835 is gonna move Cablevision one way or the other?
Well, I think it's the principle of it, Mayor. I mean, our clerk has been trying to call there several times. She's spoken to the representative, and as far as I know, she really has not gotten any satisfaction. The person
I don't
that
know
we
whether
used
that
there
was
is
for that
retired,
sector,
and he was excellent.
Because we'll end up with a late fee, that's the only thing that concerns me.
Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow when I make some phone calls.
But if you're gonna pull a bill, it's not gonna be paid until 3 weeks. We don't meet again for 3 weeks, because there's a fifth week in September.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I was
Now, if
surprised.
you approve the bill, John, and if you wanna hold it for a couple of days till you speak to them, and then release it rather than take it off the bill list.
That's where I was going with it to begin with.
Okay,
That's too bad.
that's fine.
Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Leosa,
Hold on. Am I unmuted?
you are, yes, we can hear you.
All right, I'm sorry, just using two screens, it doesn't really help. I approve everyone except abstain PSCG, please, thank you.
Thank you. Lane,
Abstain from the fire department and the ambulance corps.
thank you.
Holding the cable vision, but yes on all others.
Okay,
Approving that one also.
thank you. Mealy,
Pay all the bills, please.
Skiara,
I'm gonna say no on Cablevision. Doesn't make a difference right now anyway, we're gonna have enough votes to pay for it, but, yes on all of them.
thank you. Woteki,
Abstain on the fire department. I like where Mike's going. It's got enough votes. I'm voting no on Cablevision and yes on all others.
got it, thank you. Matthews,
I'm with my brothers. No on Cablevision, yes on everything else.
okay. Motion carries.
Public comment. I now open a meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard, please call in now at 312-757-3121. Access code 472-199-829. Or if you're on the meeting with us, use the chat feature, or you can email lfernandez@hawthornenj.org. So before we go to the chat, I'll do the email that Lori had gotten earlier in the week from Michelle Pizarros. Michelle did not give me her mailing address, but we have her email, Mike. Is that close enough for a mail-in vote during COVID?
You don't have her address. You're going to read something, though. She's not asking to speak at the meeting, correct?
Okay, yeah, no, she just had an unpleasant experience, and I'm reading 2 sentences.
That's fine, but what you're doing, Council President, you're just reporting on it versus her speaking, so you're good.
Okay, well, Michelle went to the court, and she had a horrible customer service within the court administration department. On September 1st, a woman named Nora was extremely rude and unhelpful. She made her feel horrible and was having a simple question, which she barely addressed. I suggest her manager speaks with her about basic customer service and her skills. Thank you, Michelle P. That's how she would have worded it if she spoke to us. So Eric, if you could follow up on that and ask what the situation was so that we get both sides of the story, and hopefully that can get straightened out. Craig, you're up to speak.
Thank you, Council President. Hello, everyone. Craig Cayetano, 59 Pasadena Place. Thank you, Councilman Lane, for standing against Cablevision in this, because it's not fair. They should have rectified and have that channel up. I'm glad everybody's voting not to pay the bill. And any late fees, I think they can waive them. I think they can afford to waive them. Going forward, is there any way we can explore going on YouTube live with these council meetings while we still have to go virtual? In the meantime, there is a way to, if not this service, through Zoom, you can link it and go live. Is there something we can consider with that for future council meetings?
Well, Craig, what we're doing now is we're basically doing our entire audio video system. And the goal was to be able to go direct live stream, as well as not have to have a picture of our TV screen, which is the way we're doing it now, so that we can get to our cable stations. So obviously going forward, if we're still doing this, people on TV should see the exact screen that you and I are seeing being on the computer, and that will be live, similar to what you're saying with the YouTube Live. So we have not explored the YouTube Live one, but we will be live streaming to our cable channels, and obviously all of our meetings are available on YouTube after the meeting.
Gotcha. It's just that sometimes, like, if situations like this occur, if you can have the meeting live, people can just go to the Facebook, YouTube page and see it live, or even Facebook Live through the borough page. So we can use Zoom or another service, which won't cost much at all, and you can have the meetings live this way, at least, if there's any other instances or occasions where the channel's down or something's down.
Well, we are live now through this GoToMeeting platform.
No, but I mean, like, yeah, we're live, we're not broadcasting live. Like, you can broadcast live on your YouTube channel or through Facebook if you link it through another service. This is just yeah. We're live and hosting the meeting here internally, but you can have it live out for people to go to a website and see live that way too. And you can actually have it just live on your Facebook, so anybody just strolls through, it'll pop up on Facebook too.
Correct. But you're still going to need a computer to go on to that service. So if you need a computer to log on to YouTube Live, you can come on to GoToMeeting.com.
I wish that was the case, but obviously, we've got some good turnout here, but I think that's just another means of trying to draw more people into watching the council meetings. So I'm hoping that.
Can I interject, Council President?
Sure.
So just to explain, Craig, totally understand what you're getting at. We will be able to do that. Unfortunately, we have the limitations with the current equipment we have. It's over 8 years old. So as Council President stated, we're revamping our entire system, our sound system, our recording system. We'll be able to stream it on our Facebook page, YouTube, everything. So we do unfortunately have some limitations at the moment, as you can see, our screen behind me, and this and that. But yeah, we're getting there. But thank you. We're getting there, and unfortunately, Cablevision, their channels flip to the channel right next to it, 76, and hopefully we don't have that problem with the new equipment. But thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for everybody that's been working on Pan Chemical over these years, and I'm hoping that can eventually be remediated and lead to something else. And thank you for reaching out and working on getting the ballot box. Do we know any timeline? I know ballots are going to be mailed out by October 5th. Have they communicated an exact timeline on an install yet?
I don't think they give us an exact time, but it would be right around the time, I assume, that the ballots go out.
Okay, great. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Does anyone else wish to be heard?
Let me just check my email, I'm sorry.
Anything via email, Lori?
I have nothing, Council President. Oh,
Mike's off.
sorry. I have nothing at this moment in my email.
Okay.
Make a motion to close it.
Dominic makes a motion, we close the public portion. Do we have a second?
Second, so moved.
Second by Sierra. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Have a motion to adjourn.
Motion moved.
Motion by Lane, second by Bennett. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next meeting of the Municipal Council is going to be virtual meeting on Wednesday, October 7th at 7 p.m. We are adjourned.